In the last video, we talked about robustness and we showed a couple ways to prove that a plan works, mainly looking at the optimization report and seeing that no matter what we choose for a start time, we get nothing but green results. In other words, it's positive no matter what. Hard to break. Then we went ahead and changed the symbol to heating oil. We changed the length of the bar from a 24 to a 20 to a 26, I believe. We just looked at some random time frames, each one of them producing winners. So when we left off, I believe we were on heating oil in this 24 tick momentum bar, and it produced an equity curve like that. That is pretty amazing. And it was thousands of trades. In fact, 3,400 trades, winning nearly 2/3, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So I went ahead and ran the optimization report again for start time. And the reason why is because the subject of this video is how do we determine the best start time? All right. So first I want to prove that it continues to be robust. And so I went ahead and ran the same report starting at midnight all the way through to 9 p.m. the next day at 30-minute increments. And we can see that it's green all the way down. And the most profitable was beginning at 3:30 in the morning. Very interesting. Actually, is that true? Let me just scroll up. No, that's not true. The most profitable was starting at midnight. But they were all profitable, as you can see. Now, this is in minutes. So when it goes from 0 to 30 to 60, 60 is really 1 a.m. So we have to remember that this is based on the number system, which works in increments of 10, not the clock system, which works in increments of 60, right? So we have to kind of fudge this a little. 360, that's going to be 4 a.m., for example. It's 3 hours and 60 minutes. So we can figure stuff out by knowing what to look at, okay? That's neither here nor there. We could fix that later. What's important is that no matter what we choose, it wins. We know it's robust. So the first thing to ask about start time is about your own situation. When do you want to trade? So let's just look at this again. I know I just pulled it away. I'll pull it back. This strategy makes for some great evening trading. And how do I know that? Well, when I search on profit factor, the highest profit factors all happen in the evening, 8:10 in the evening, 1980, that's the same as 8 p.m., 9 p.m., Look at these profit factors. These win rates are amazing, right? 8, this is 20 minutes before 9. That's 20 and 40 minutes, et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea. Even 15:30, which is in the afternoon, produces a nice 1.62 profit factor. All right. And when you get to these later hours, you're trading less. That's interesting. And your average net profit per trade is quite significant. Well over $50, which is what we want. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're in the 40s, even in the high 30s, that's still profitable. But when you get up over 50, you can hit that exponential curve and power of compounding really kicks in. And notice it's only, less than 200 trades versus the 3,000 trades. So we definitely want to monitor that going forward. But what if we don't want to trade at night? This is great for those who work in the day and then come home and want to trade in the evening for a few hours. With this plan, you can do it. It shows that you can do it. Now, obviously, you want to practice it and go through some of the other pre-production steps, which we will discuss. Obviously, I discuss that in training. But this is about how we discover the best start time. Well, what if you want to trade during normal conventional hours? What if you want to start like right at 9 a.m., like some of the other plans that we have, and trade until noon? Well, maybe you want to trade from 9 a.m. till noon, worst case scenario, but if you can finish sooner, that would even be better. Well, we're going to cover that sort of thing in the next video. How to know when to quit trading with your profits in hand so that you can keep your profits and grow your account quicker with fewer trades. Trading less, making more, trading less, being able to live your life more the way you want to live it. All right. But for now, let's just see if we can figure out a really good start time that's more in tune with when the markets are trading, the more conventional time, 9 a.m., New York time, the exchange time of this market. All right. So if we look at this, we can see that it's green. It's won a lot. There's over 2,400 trades, 63% win rate. That is not bad for 2,400 trades. We haven't optimized anything. It's just the default calculator. And we could always look at other charts. This is a 24 tick. Perhaps a 20 tick does better. Perhaps a 28 tick, a 30 tick. We could look at that. But for start time, just to give you an idea of how powerful the Trade Assist is and why it's so important you have such a tool like this, let's take a look at what we know. We know that the profit factor is below 1.5. Now, on unleaded gas, it was above 1.5. On this chart, it's below 1.5. That's okay. That doesn't mean that the 9 a.m. isn't a good start time. Maybe we're just taking too many trades. So the first thing we want to do is make sure our finish time, our end time is set, because this is still set for 9 p.m. the next day. This goes, well, it'd be the same day. In this case, this goes from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's a 12-hour window with all trades. Still does pretty good considering, but that's not what we're interested in. We want to trade for the maximum, a 3-hour window or less. All right, so let's go ahead and change the end time. It's funny that we're changing the end time in order to discover a good starting time, but you'll bear with me and you'll see why. So all I have to do is open the strategy, go to the end time. We're going to make the start time 9 a.m. Let's make the end time 12. Let's take a look at what that does. All right, well, instantly, the profit factor went up, and the trade count went down, and the win rate went up. And it's still got a really nice equity curve. A little bit of drawdown in here, but it really recovered in an explosive way, and there's really very little drawdown episodes throughout. This is not bad, but can we do better? Well, we can. How? What if 9 a.m. is not the best start time? What if there's a better start time a little bit before or a little bit after? Well, how do we know that? We can manually go through and test with the techniques I've taught with fast testing and the UTA. That can be done. Take a long time. Or we can just optimize with our Trade Assist automation. The power of tools, the right tools to get the right job done so that you get all important answers to really big questions. So let's go ahead and just test this from 8:30 to 9:30, and we'll test it in 5-minute increments. Let's see what we learn. It's only 21 tests. Now, this would take you an eternity to try to learn it manually with a few clicks of the button. Let's see if we can get to that all-important 1.5 profit factor and see if we can improve this just by changing our start time by a little bit. All right, we got an answer coming up. So look what happened. There is a better start time. This pushes the win rate up, pushes the profit factor up, pushes the win rate up. Still a somewhat decent average net profit. We could probably improve on that. And a really nice equity curve. So what did it choose? Well, let's take a look. Looks like it likes starting at 8:30 better than it likes starting at 9. Let's sort it. All right, so we got 8:30, 8:35, 8:40. So the first 30 minutes prior to 9, it actually does quite a bit better. You could see the profit factor. So that's interesting information. The net profit went up per trade. It could be that the best start time is at 8:35, 8:40, but you get the idea. We were able to discover something really quick as far as start time goes. But what if you don't want to start then? What if you really want to start at 9? Well, the next step would be to maybe look at some other charts to see if we can improve a 9 o'clock start time. So 9 o'clock didn't do terrible, but it's still not great. It's okay. It's adequate, but we can do better. So one way to do that would be to lower or make the end time less or more. We can decide what to do with the end time. Another thing we can do is the subject of the next video is when do we quit? Like perhaps we start at 9, but we take fewer trades and we take our profit off the table sooner. We don't keep trading every trade through the 3 hours. This is looking at every trade through this window of time from 8:30 to noon. Now we know that we can do better than that with our power of quitting goals. That's the subject of the next video. Let's go back to our unleaded gas chart. Now we left off with the 20 tick, but I want to keep apples to apples. Let's make it the 24 tick so it's equal to what we were looking at with heating oil a moment ago. If you remember, this made an amazing equity curve, taking all trades from 12:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock the next night. Thousands of trades. This is remarkable. Let's go ahead and make this the 24 tick and start from there. looking at 120 days back. We're going to make it the 24 tick. Look how fast we can just change charts and see results. It's amazing what the investment and the right tools can do for you as a trader. I mean, this is remarkable, as I said, but we're going for best start time. So let's go ahead and run the same test. Open the strategy, find our input. We're going to make it a 12 p.m. stop time, and we're going to optimize a starting time between 8:30 and 9:30 in 5-minute increments. Let's see what that produces for us. Notice the 4,500 trades. We talked about this in the last video. Obviously, we'll see this number go down because we've reduced the window of trading hours. And in just a few minutes, we get the results we're looking for. Okay, so it definitely changed, and it cut the trades more than in half. Now we're close to 2,000 trades. Remember, this is the 24 tick, and it likes 8:30 also. Now, that's because there's more trades. That's not necessarily the best start time, but with more trades, and we already know it wins no matter what time we choose, we'll make for a higher net profit. Let's sort on that. Is a higher net profit the best choice? Well, it depends on if you want to start that early. For me, that's way too early. That's 5:30 in the morning on the West Coast. Too early for me, but the good news is that I could start later and still do very good. But the best thing to do is a sort on the profit factor, and notice that the 1.61, it's a little bit better than 1.56. And the $40 average net profit's quite a bit better than the 36.88. It's almost a full tick per trade better, right? So when you talk about covering the cost of commission and slippage, that makes a difference. So it likes 9:30. Starting an hour later, which shortens your window time, 9:30 to noon at taking all trades, literally gave the best profit factor and the highest average net profit per trade and a slightly better win rate. So fewer trades, still a lot. 999, it's a lot of trades. Obviously, there's no quitting goals. Again, we're going to cover that next in the next video. But I just want to show you how you can first determine robustness. Second, come up with a start time that's going to work for you. Does it have to be perfect? It doesn't have to be perfect. It never will. Does it have to be the absolute best of the best? It really doesn't. It's all relative. If you could execute it and make money, you're going to do well because power of compounding will kick in. You'll get it to the size you want. You'll achieve your financial goals. You don't have to get perfection. You need something good enough that you can execute and do day in and day out successfully. That's where you want to focus on. Everyone tries to search for perfection and chase that down, and instead of trading to make money, they start trading for other reasons. Trading for perfection is not the same as trading to make money. Let's get that clear. So these two short videos hopefully made that clear and shows you the value of an amazing tool like the Catapult Trade Assist automation. I hope that you will consider joining us on our boot camp coming up very shortly later this month. Be on the lookout. I hope to see you there. Also, remember, I got one more video that'll be coming out shortly. How we know when to quit trading. We call it the power of quitting. It's about setting goals that you can use with your trade plan. You have a robust plan. You have the right start time. How do you know when to stop so that you can be your own best version of the backpack trader? Trading less, making more. That's what it's all about. I'll see you on the next video.